come together and create a space of reverence, I'm delighted to invite Kate Fridkis-Bering to come forward.
And you loved me for making him happy. But later, you loved me for me. You always told me I was beautiful. You were so beautiful. You told me I was a great mom. First one, my phone suggests, because it knows you. You always told me you loved to hear me sing. And I can't believe that I'm here today singing to you like this. But at the same time, it's such an honor. I'm singing Psalm 23. Begins, God is my shepherd, I shall not want. And I'm singing it for you, but I'm singing it for me. And I'm singing it for all of us who you have left behind. Because thank you, Barbara, for loving me. I'll always love you. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai roi lechsar, benot deshe yarbit zeini, al meimen nafshi shovev, nafshi shovev, yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemo, gam ki elech b'geit almavet lo irara ki ata imadi shivtecha v'mishantecha shivtecha v'mishantecha hema yanachamuni lefanai shulchan taruch lefanai shulchan neged tzorai disha shaman roshi kosi reva Achtov v'chesed yirdifuni et Adonai liorech yami.
Thank you, Kate, for that very beautiful offering of the psalm. In the memorial bulletin, you'll see on a page the refrain together. At the rising of sun and at its going down, we remember her. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, daring to come up first.
If I can't get through this, I might ask. Thank you all for being here. It means the world to me, and I think she would have been astounded to see you all here, to honor and love her, and it would have meant the world to her as well. It isn't possible to scratch the surface, and you'll hear more from others. But for myself, all I can do is share a few moments, a few memories, and I will hope that all of you who loved her can read between the lines. Mom was competitive. She loved to beat me at ping pong, racquetball, tennis, bowling, Scrabble, Boggle, puzzles, trivia games. When I was little, she did not let me win. And when I was big, I did not let her win. But she did frequently. As a kid, we had Volvo station wagons, and she took their famously high safety standards as permission to drive faster. When I was in middle school, she taught an after-school German class. She and Cam took Kate and me and the girls to the Dolomites in Italy. We hiked up mountains. We did an adventure ropes course with the girls. And when they wanted to go back, she took them back and did it again. How many kids have a grandma who does that kind of thing? She also was still pretty much fluent in German, which came a day by whacking me on the back. When I graduated high school, she took me, just the two of us, on a cruise to Alaska. On the ship, we won a doubles ping pong tournament. She knew more than me about pop culture by a factor of at least 100. She introduced my daughters to Lady Gaga, and one of my biggest regrets is that the girls will not get a chance to attend any more of her Zumba classes. She liked to argue. She argued at the dinner table. I believe it may have been a relief to Cam sometimes when we came to visit, so there were more people for her to argue with. I inherited that from her, and I teased her for her entire life by taking absurd positions, arguing them with a straight face, and never backing down. I'm not 100% sure she caught on. She loved math. When I was in high school, she asked me to give fun and easy to learn. She never adequate formal grammar. She had a wide scientific knowledge. She was well-read. She was not squeamish about medical facts, of which she knew many. She talked to my girls about cadaver lab in her gross anatomy class in dental school, which they loved. She loved Cam. To mine much of the time. Much of the time. Was Grammy. As a mom, the biggest thing I remember about her is that she loved us unconditionally. And when I use that word, I don't mean she loved us a lot, although that was true. I mean specifically that she there'll be a character who's scared of disappointing. And that was always totally alien and strange to me. We never had the sense that we had anything to prove. She certainly wanted us to excel, but it was because she thought we were wonderful, Danny and I, and she thought that way for her entire life, that way for her entire life, up to the end, no matter what the failures of the when Mom had cancer, it was a very great honor for me to spend a little more time with her, than usual. We reminisced about a lot of things. But one thing she had dreamed, but she was still there for us 100%, making sure we had a warm home. She went back to work, had to swallow her pride a little, maybe, but she showed up at baseball games, speech and debate tournaments, much, much more. I cringe a little bit thinking back to all the times as a teenager I was ungrateful or disrespectful or a smartass. At that age, you don't really know your parents. You don't think of them as human beings. And I didn't appreciate until much, much later, maybe not until I became a parent myself, how much she was giving to us and how deeply from herself. Book groups, travel groups, alumni groups, Zumba groups. Mom left us all too early, but her life was long enough to shy, and she didn't lack confidence, but she was fundamentally humble. More than most people, I think. And she was always, I think, a little surprised to be the recipient of so much love, so much admiration. But when I look back, it is not surprising to me. Thank you.
So we didn't know what each other would be saying. There's a little bit of overlap. So I think you'll this might go a little slowly. Not the longest of all the people here, but it's when I think of my mom and her life, I think of four things that I just want to emphasize. There's community, there's fun, there's effort, and then there's love. First is community. She found so much meaning and value. And friendships meant so much to her. Groups together, despite what we observed as a public speaking. She in Napomo, and thank you, because it's your energy and friendship that brought Mom so much joy, truly. And that's the second thing. It's fun. Fun. Mom loved having fun, and she loved being fun. And part of that is just a love about in some way, shape, or form. Racquetball, tennis, ping pong. She loved travel. She loved dance. She loved watching dance. She loved board games, Scrabble, Boggle, Mahjong, jigsaw puzzles. She had a love of learning, of tour groups, of trivia, of languages. Brought a smile. And she just had a huge, big, bright smile. And also in the fun bucket, she was competitive. And she was also very good at everything. She was so good at everything. I know that Cam can attest to family ping pong matches, when her, Simon, and I would compete with maximum effort. was that day. She'd win racquetball and tennis tournaments her whole life. Her whole life. Even in her final days, her really final days, she beat me at Words with Friends. She took her fun seriously, and she always gave her best, right through to the end. And that's the third one, effort. She always gave her best. Not everything is a sport, and no one has all of the answers, and you can't win all of the time. And Simon and I would watch her try to find her footing at times. But she'd always try, with her chin up